So it's 8 o'clock, and we're going to do the mindfulness of breathing today. So I think a lot of us, we see meditation, or it's easy to see meditation as just simply a way of calming the mind. And for some people, that's all that they want, probably. They just want to be a bit calmer than they usually are, and the meditation helps do that. Actually, in Buddhist terms, meditation is about much more than that, and it certainly does calm the mind. But meditation is about helping us to be more aware, helping us to be more mindful in our lives, and that awareness has a very definite purpose. The Buddha said that all he taught was suffering and the release from suffering. So the more aware we can become, the more settled in our minds we can become, the more we can notice the things that we do that cause us pain. And it's very hard to sum up in a couple of minutes, but basically the things we do that cause us pain is that we go chasing after pleasure because we think it will make us happy. And maybe it does for a little while, but we keep chasing after pleasure all the time. And the other thing that we do is we keep pushing away anything that isn't pleasurable all the time. We keep trying to avoid it. And in a way, this is crazy because we can't organize the world around our needs for pleasure. The world is going to act in the way the world is going to act. So really the only way we can influence the world, but really in essence the only way we can be happy is to accept that there are ups and downs in life, and to notice our reaction to getting things we don't want and not getting things we want. And to just be with that reaction, to be with our disappointment, to be with our craving and notice how painful it is. And if we can notice our tendencies to create our own sense of dissatisfaction and pain, then we can stop doing it slowly, not all at once, but over a period of time. We can let go of these cravings and aversions that create us so much pain. So that's what meditation is about, really. It's about knowing ourselves better. It's about having the space in our minds to actually see how we cause ourselves upset and disappointment in our lives, how we get caught up with trying to push pain away rather than to embrace the way things are and know that they will change. So that's fairly deep stuff for a Thursday morning, but I just wanted to say that. And if you want to explore that more, then at some point we will be back doing newcomers classes at what will then be York Buddhist Centre. And we explain all this over a period of weeks, and it really helps people to change their lives. But meditation is the baseline for this. So it's great that you're here and that we're practicing in this way. And if you do just want meditation to make you a bit calmer and you don't want to go any further than that, that's fine. That's great. That's up to you. But I just wanted to throw that in, as it were. Okay, so good morning to Bernard, Julia, Sarah, and Panda. Great to see you all. It's just fantastic, all of you being here and together and meditating together. So we'll start with the meditation. And as I say, it's the mindfulness of breathing, 4 parts. And on the first part, we're following the out breath. This helps us to relax. In the second part, we're following the in-breath, and this brings energy into our being. And these first two stages help us to settle, help our minds to quieten down a little bit. Gives our minds something to do. And then in the third stage, we're just really getting into the meditation, hopefully, noticing the sensations in the body. And then the fourth stage, moving up to around the nose or the upper lip. And just really concentrating on that area. But most of you know all that because you've done it loads of times. But I'll lead us through it for people who aren't quite so familiar. So we'll begin. And we begin as always by just coming into the present moment, just arriving here right now. With everything, arriving with everything just as it is, not trying to change anything. Arriving with however we feel, positive or negative, whatever we're carrying in our minds, in our emotions, and in our bodies. And we might be carrying something lovely, exciting, or something not so lovely and a bit upsetting. We might feel physically fine, or we might ache a little bit. But I just encourage you, however you are, just to notice that and to be with it with a sense of acceptance and kindness. How we are at the moment is the truth of the matter. It's the way things are. And that's okay, because it is just as it is. So we might notice the weight of our body pressing down on the bed, floor, chair or cushion. Just letting ourselves be held. We don't have to do anything. We're just sitting here, lying here, just being. Noticing how it feels lying or sitting, the contact with whatever you're lying or sitting on. Just zoning in on that for a moment. Then bringing attention to the breath. The breath is a wonderful regulator. If we can tune into the breath, then it really helps us to settle. And for any unpleasant sensations, it helps any unpleasant sensations to just moderate a bit if we concentrate on the breath. And particularly on the breath in the unpleasant sensations. So I've got a very busy day today and I'm feeling a little churned up about it. But I can feel the churned upness. And I'm breathing into that. So we can breathe into our discomfort, if we have any. And just Noticing the breath in the chest area, and how it moves the shoulders rising on the in-breath, dropping on the out-breath. So as the shoulders drop, just relaxing, letting any tension drop down through the body. And then on the next out-breath, relaxing more and relaxing a bit more on the next. Just using each out-breath as a way to let go. This is the mindfulness of breathing. And in the first stage, we're just going to follow the whole of the out-breath, the whole of each out-breath, right from the beginning to the very end. And then just not noticing the in-breath too much, just waiting for the next out-breath to start and following that out-breath from the beginning to the end, and so on. If you wish to count, sometimes counting can help. You could place a number at the end of each out-breath, beginning with 1 and then moving eventually up to 10 and then starting again. But the main thing is following each out-breath from the beginning to the end. And when you get distracted, just patiently, kindly coming back to the breath and following each out-breath again. And it's the most natural thing in the world to get distracted by thoughts. So not letting that worry you, just noticing that you've been distracted, celebrating that moment when you realize you've been distracted and coming back to the out-breath. not making too much effort, just noticing when you're distracted. Just letting go of any effort for the moment and noticing how you are, how your posture is, whether it's comfortable. And if you need to adjust your posture in any way, then please do that. Make sure you're okay. And then when you're ready, we're going to start following each in-breath, right from the beginning to the very end of each in-breath, really concentrated on the in-breath. And if you wish, you can count, place a number right at the beginning of each in-breath, beginning with 1, and then 2, and up to 10 again. Just following each in-breath from the beginning to the end. So if you've been counting, you can stop now. We're going to let go of that. And we're going to move our attention to the breath in the body, beginning with the upper body, the chest area, and just noticing the movement there, the sensations of the breath in the lungs and the throat, the rising and falling of the chest, the opening and closing of the rib cage, and the rhythm of it all. Just allowing yourself to get lost in the rhythm of the breath in the upper body. Not trying too hard. If you get distracted, just noticing that, not trying to stop doing it. Just as much as you can, concentrating on the sensations of the breath in the upper body. And you can stay in the upper body, but if you'd like to explore further, you can maybe bring your attention down into the abdomen, and then down a little bit further, just below the belly button. This is a point called the hara. And if you can just maybe notice this point midway between the navel and the belly button, sort of in that sort of area. And as you breathe in and breathe out, you might be able to feel the hara. If you can't, don't worry. Just trying to notice that you can breathe from this spot. If you really concentrate, you might be able to just notice that you can breathe from this hara, this part of the body actually doing the breathing. Doesn't matter if you can't, but if you can, it's a real aid to letting go. And you might notice also the whole body moving with the breath. Or if you wish, bringing your attention to the whole of your being. The breath subtly moving the whole body. And to end the meditation, we're going to move now up to the area where the breath comes into the body, around the nostrils or the upper lip, and just concentrating on feeling these very subtle sensations as the breath passes the skin around the nostrils or the skin on the upper lip. It's really homing in on this little area. Not making too much effort, just keeping your attention on the nostrils or the upper lip and the sensations as the breath passes. And for the last couple of minutes of this meditation, just letting go of any effort at all, any kind of looking at any particular place, and bringing your attention to the whole of your being. Just observing whatever experiences are arising without getting involved with them. Just being an observer, sitting, noticing your experience. In a moment, I'm going to ring the bell to bring the meditation to an end. And as always, when I do, just taking your time and in your own way, very gently beginning to move your body when you're ready. Well, I hope that's helped to set you up for the day. Wherever you are, I know there's quite a few people from York. There's also quite a few from all over the country, and it's really good to have you here. So thank you for coming. I'll be back at 11 with the morning cuppa meditation, and then I'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll be doing a loving kindness meditation tomorrow morning at 8. So maybe see you then. But in the meantime, take care, and I hope today is a good day in spite of the weather and that things go well for you. Sending you lots of love.